Ahoy, this is Zdenka, and this is why I was postponing the official review of Zhiyun Smooth 5 gimbal. The gimbal is finished now. All the buttons are working, and on top of it, we've got brand new app. We actually have two apps you can use with this gimbal, and I've got some great news for Android users. I really love making these type of videos with good news. That makes my day. For the new faces, welcome! My name is Zdenka. This channel is all about photography and video, creative camera challenges, and hidden giveaways. If that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. I'm eager to show you how the buttons work and the apps, but first, let's go quickly through specifications. The gimbal's dimensions are displayed on the screen. Weight is 615 grams. Charging time is roughly 2 hours with a 15 watts charger. It has 2600 mAh battery. If the gimbal is fully balanced, you can get up to 12 hours of working time. If you will be using the built-in light in the highest brightness level, you will get up to 4.5 hours per single battery charge. The light is attached by magnet. It can be rotated full 360 degrees. You can change the colors using the light filters. The color temperature range is 5300 Kelvin to 5700. The gimbal has two-way charging. You can charge the gimbal with a portable power bank. Your phone can be charged by gimbal via Type-C port on the tilt axis right here. Maximum payload listed on the paper is 300 grams. Let's check out the mechanical range of motors. Tilt is 309 degrees, roll is 300, and pan is full 360 degrees. Here it goes. Sure, you can use this gimbal as a stabilizer and film with any app pretty much, because you can change the modes directly on the gimbal. But Zhiyun is offering two apps to be used with this gimbal. For basic filming, you will be using Cami app, and for advanced filmmaking, you are going to use StaCam. I'm going to show both apps with the Apple phone, but also I will dive into the Android phone. Now, keep in mind that every single Android will have slightly different limitations. It's not because of the gimbal makers, it's actually because of the phone makers. They don't provide access to camera's hardware, so it's quite difficult to create these apps. That's why you see limitations when it comes to all the gimbals on the market, pretty much when it comes to Android phones. But still, it's actually not so bad. It's actually very good. So keep watching. Apple goes first. I'm going to show you what is available in Cami app and what buttons work in this app. Again, this is the basic option for general filming. You can either film in automatic mode or manual mode. You can film in 4K at 24, 25, 30, and 60 frames per second. The same goes for 1080p and 720p. It's got beauty mode, which you can film in 1080p and 720p, but not in 4K and also not in 60 frames per second. You can select what type of microphone you use, if it's built-in, external, or Bluetooth. You can change white balance, gesture control is offered as well. You can do hyperlapse in 1080p or 720p. You can do time-lapse and motion lapse in 4K, 1080p, and 720p in 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. You can do dolly zoom, 8x slow motion in 1080p. Panoramas are offered in 180, 240, and 3x3 and clone me. You can select how many clones you want. You can select up to 7. Video, you can take photos in automatic mode, manual, use glamour effect. You can do live streaming, and you can use smart pre-designed templates. There are some built into this app. More choices are available for download, and if you purchase premium membership, you can get even more. I personally really like the custom one, where you can choose the transitions, you can customize it the way you want. So, what buttons are working with this app? What can we directly control from this gimbal. I can use the zoom wheel to zoom in and out. It's quite smooth. There is a small jump once it changes the lens. The menu button allows you to switch between video and smart. If I'm in the video mode and press the top button on the interface on the ring, I can pull out the frame rates and resolution, which I can navigate by turning the ring. When I press the light button in the middle, that confirms the selection. The bottom of the ring, when I press that, allows me to get to album. The mode button allows me to switch gimbal modes directly on the gimbal. Again, that means that you can use this gimbal regardless of the app you choose. Record button is below. Press 1 time to start and stop recording. Press 2 times. This will allow you to switch between front and rear camera. Trigger in the back allows you to enable tracking. Just press 1 time. If you press 2 times, you will recenter the gimbal. If you press 3 times, you will spin the gimbal 180 degrees. If I press the light switch, I will turn on the light, and then with the wheel, I just adjust the brightness. So that would be the Cami app. Let's do stabilization test. I'm actually going to do another stabilization test with the other app later on in this video. But right now, here you can see regular hard walk, very soft walk when you are very deep into your knees, and full speed run. If you want to do advanced filming, you will either just open up the other app, or you can go to settings and tap on Pro mode. It will take you to this new app called StaCam. You will use the same account as you have for the Cami app. The app is similar to Filmic Pro, or I'd say it's even actually more similar to ProTake app. Let's start with the left side. You can change lenses. You've got ultra wide angle, wide angle, telephoto, auto, and selfie. Next to it is glamour effect, which you can see only if you have Prime Plus membership. Also, glamour effect cannot be used if you are filming in 4K or 60 frames per second, just like in the Cami app. Here, the focus wheel will either zoom in or zoom out. If you have an automatic lens selected, it will be switching lenses as you are zooming in. If you have only one lens selected, it will be all digital zoom. If I press the button in the middle of the wheel, I can now control focus. It's okay, it's smooth, but I see little jumps here and there. If you want to film in manual mode, here below is where you change shutter speed, ISO, white balance, frame rates, and resolution. In 4K, you can film in 24, 25, 30, and 60 frames per second. In 1080p and 720p, you can also film in 120 and 240 frames per second. Slow motion can be filmed in 1080p and 720p. You can choose the speed you want, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, all the way to 8 times slow motion. Time-lapse can be filmed in 4K, 1080p, and 720p. You can choose intervals anywhere between 0.5 seconds to 60 seconds. On the right side of the app, you can turn on the grid and select aspect ratio, focus peaking, zebra pattern, false color, highlight clipping, monochrome display, advanced settings if you have Prime Plus membership. You can choose from a variety of LUTs to film in. Log is included as well. Lots of these LUTs are included, but there are some extra ones where you also need membership to use them. You can turn off the settings on the display or turn them on. In the middle, you can see histogram, which you can switch to whatever you need, and you can also see sound. Settings offer filming in portrait mode. You can enable filming prompt tone, use LUT, turn on anti-shake, select bitrate. I see 48 and 64 as my choice. Select coding. The choices are H.265 and H.264. Select filming countdown. Select if you want to save your files in StaCam and System or StaCam only. you can turn on location and go to footage analysis settings. Again, you need membership for that. Let's do the stabilization now again. In the first test, I'm gonna have the anti-shake off. So hard walk, soft, and run. Now I'm gonna do the same thing again, but this time I'm gonna have the anti-shake on. Let's look at the buttons on the front interface. Menu doesn't do anything in this app. Let's look at the wheel here. Top button pulls out resolution and frame rate controls. Just turn the wheel to navigate through and press the center to confirm. The ISO button on the right pulls out shutter speed, ISO and white balance control. You can switch between them by pressing the ISO button. The bottom will take you to the album, and the left button will turn off and on all the settings on the screen. Function button on the side will pull out footage control with focus peaking and all that. One more thing I want to mention is that if you want to turn on the camera light, not the gimbal light, just press the top center icon here on the top. There is no tracking in this app. There are a lot of choices which give you quite a lot of creative freedom. Now, I know that when I film, I don't actually need all those features. It really comes down what you specifically need. Quick overview of Android phone is here. Again, I'm gonna be using Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. Now, if you ask me if your Android phone is compatible with this gimbal or what features it has, I'm not gonna know the answer. You need to go to Zhiyun website directly and search for the compatibility list. Check it out. I'm actually gonna link it below in a video description. All right, Cami app. What is not available? In this app, you can film in 4K, 1080p, and 720p in 24 and 30 frames per second. All features are the same. However, slow motion is not available, but nothing is lost. Let's check out the other app. I think you will be quite happy. This is what I see on my phone. In 4K, 1080p, and 720p, you get 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. In 1080p and 720p, you get 60, 120, and 240 frames per second. You can film in manual mode as well, so yes, this app seems to be equally same on Apple phone and Android, especially on this Android. I don't know about all the other Androids though. I'm hoping it is the same for majority. This is very good. You've got everything here. I'm going to go ahead and purchase the membership. Once the weather is a bit warmer, right now we have -22 outside, I will absolutely create in-depth tutorial how to use this gimbal with the Cami app and also with the StaCam app. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you're not already to get the notification. I've used this gimbal a few times as I really wanted to have hands-on experience before I create this video, and there are many things I liked, but there are a few things I didn't like as well. There's no perfect gimbal. There's always something. I like the range of movements, how it is responding. It's easy to use in my opinion, mechanically. I really like both apps. It's got everything. It's got even more than I need. For me, it is very important that I can switch the modes directly on the gimbal, and this gimbal offers that because sometimes I like to use other apps like Movement as well, or even Filmic Pro, and I want the freedom and I want the flexibility. What I don't like, the display where it shows the gimbal modes is way too tiny. It's fine indoors, but on a bright day, you don't see the letters. You have to cover it with your hand to see it or guess what mode you're in. You pretty much have to memorize it. The paid memberships to get all the features, not a fan of that too much. Lastly, I encountered quite an issue in my case. I went to film a tutorial for you guys and it was a windy day. It was maybe 18 kilometers an hour, I don't know. But when I was standing with my back towards the wind, I could use the gimbal no problem. As soon as I turned sideways and the wind hit the phone, the gimbal kind of shook left and right and then shut off. Now, all the other gimbals react very similarly. When it's windy, you can still use them, but you will get shaky footage. Those gimbals are not strong. They are not built for that kind of condition. So I actually had to wrap it up and I had to go home and film the next day when there was no wind. So it's got some limitations, and if there are any little bugs here and there, down the road, gimbal makers always fix them with further firmware updates. There are gimbals which I reviewed 2 years ago, and I'm still receiving firmware updates. They are still developing, they are still getting better and better. A link to this gimbal and compatibility list can be found below the video in the video description for those interested, so you can check it out and see the pricing in your currency based on where you live. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more. If you have any questions, comments, simply want to say hi or ahoy, leave it below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ahoy.